Inhumane farming and global warming. The devastating impact of industrial agriculture on the environment and animal welfare. Introduction. Industrial agriculture, also known as factory farming, is the dominant system of food production in the world today. It is characterized by large-scale operations that use intensive methods to raise crops and livestock for human consumption. While industrial agriculture has been praised for its ability to produce large quantities of food at low cost, it has also been criticized for its negative impact on the environment and animal welfare. In particular, inhumane farming practices and global warming are two of the most pressing issues associated with industrial agriculture. The purpose is to examine the relationship between inhumane farming and global warming, and to explore the ways in which industrial agriculture contributes to both of these problems. We will begin by defining these terms and providing some background information on industrial agriculture. We will then discuss the impact of inhumane farming on animal welfare and the environment, and examine the ways in which global warming is caused by industrial agriculture. Finally, we will conclude with some possible solutions to these problems. What is industrial agriculture? Industrial agriculture is a system of food production that relies on large-scale, intensive methods to increase the yield of crops and livestock. It is characterized by the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides, as well as the use of antibiotics and growth hormones in livestock. Industrial agriculture is also associated with monoculture, which refers to the planting of large areas of land with a single crop or a small number of crops. The goal of industrial agriculture is to produce as much food as possible at the lowest cost. This is achieved by increasing the efficiency of production through the use of technology, mechanization, and specialization. However, this focus on efficiency has come at a cost to the environment and animal welfare. Impact of inhumane farming on animal welfare. Inhumane farming practices are those that cause unnecessary suffering to animals. These practices are common in industrial agriculture, where animals are often treated as commodities rather than living beings. Some of the most common inhumane farming practices include confinement. Animals are often confined in small spaces, such as cages or pens, that do not allow them to move or express natural behaviors. Debeaking. In poultry farming, beaks are often trimmed to prevent birds from pecking each other in overcrowded conditions. Tail docking. In pig farming, tails are often docked to prevent pigs from biting each other in overcrowded conditions. Hormone use. Hormones are often used to increase the growth rate of livestock, which can lead to health problems and pain for the animals. These practices have a devastating impact on animal welfare. Animals that are confined in small spaces may develop physical and psychological problems, such as lameness, respiratory disease, and stress. Debeaking and tail docking can cause pain and distress, and the use of hormones can lead to health problems and suffering. Impact of inhumane farming on the environment. In addition to its negative impact on animal welfare, industrial agriculture also has a significant impact on the environment. Some of the most significant environmental problems associated with industrial agriculture include soil degradation. The use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides can lead to soil degradation and erosion, which can reduce the productivity of land and harm biodiversity. Water pollution. The runoff from industrial agriculture can contain high levels of chemicals and nutrients, which can lead to water pollution. This can harm aquatic ecosystems, as well as human health if the water is used for drinking or recreation. Greenhouse gas emissions. Industrial agriculture is a significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, which are a major cause of global warming. The use of fossil fuels in agriculture, as well as the production and transport of fertilizers and pesticides, all contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. Deforestation. Industrial agriculture often involves clearing large areas of land for crops or livestock. This can lead to deforestation, which is a major contributor to climate change. Global warming and industrial agriculture. Global warming refers to the increase in global temperatures caused by human activities, such as the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. Industrial agriculture is a significant contributor to global warming, both directly and indirectly. Directly, industrial agriculture contributes to greenhouse gas emissions through the use of fossil fuels in machinery and transport, as well as the methane produced by livestock. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas that is produced by the digestive processes of livestock, particularly cattle. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, livestock production is responsible for 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Indirectly, industrial agriculture contributes to global warming through deforestation. As mentioned previously, industrial agriculture often involves clearing large areas of land for crops or livestock. This can lead to the release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, as well as the loss of carbon sequestration capabilities of forests. Deforestation is responsible for approximately 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Solutions to inhumane farming and global warming. The problems associated with inhumane farming and global warming are complex and interconnected, and there are no easy solutions. However, there are a number of steps that can be taken to address these issues. One possible solution is to shift away from industrial agriculture towards more sustainable and humane farming practices. This can include practices such as regenerative agriculture, which focuses on building healthy soil and biodiversity, and agroecology, which promotes ecological sustainability and social justice in food systems. These practices can reduce the negative impact of agriculture on the environment and animal welfare, as well as provide healthier and more nutritious food for consumers. Another solution is to reduce meat consumption. As mentioned previously, livestock production is a significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions and other environmental problems. By reducing meat consumption, individuals can help to reduce the demand for industrial agriculture and encourage more sustainable and humane farming practices. Policy changes can also play a role in addressing these issues. Governments can provide incentives for farmers to adopt more sustainable and humane farming practices, as well as regulate inhumane farming practices and reduce the use of chemicals and antibiotics in agriculture. Governments can also implement policies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, such as carbon taxes or cap-and-trade systems. Conclusion: inhumane farming and global warming are two of the most pressing issues associated with industrial agriculture. Inhumane farming practices cause unnecessary suffering to animals and contribute to environmental problems such as soil degradation and water pollution. Global warming is caused by the greenhouse gas emissions associated with industrial agriculture, as well as deforestation. While there are no easy solutions to these problems, shifting towards more sustainable and humane farming practices, reducing meat consumption, and implementing policy changes can all help to address these issues and create a more sustainable and equitable food system.